I thought I'd share some things that I learned over the years that's important to know about people when we're navigating relationships and our potential worldviews. One thing is having gone through a fundamentalist religious sect, these groups will teach that we're to expect persecution, and so if they aren't being persecuted, then they're not good people in God's eyes. They're not being pleasing to God. So if you have lots of friends, success, wealth, well-being, then you must be doing something wrong in God's sight. And so there will be factions of people that are subconsciously creating conflict with communities around them, whether or not those communities want to be at peace with them and really don't care how they worship or who they worship. Another aspect of these fundamentalist belief systems is if it's ingrained in someone when they're very young that sex before marriage, sex outside of marriage is a bad thing, and figured over the years they've repressed that personality and have added layers of personality to be approved in their social circles. And so they're going out, they're on dating websites, they're having one night stands, and then maybe they have to go back for the holidays or go to church on the weekend. These are not people that you're going to want to meet and engage in a sexual relationship with. So when you're on a dating site and whatnot, and they're like, oh, hey, let's hook up on such and such a night, and no, I can't make it this day because I got to go to church, but they're eager to have sex with you. When they wake up in the morning, whether they realize it or not, they're going to regret that and look poorly on you for being somebody who seduced them and corrupted them. Or they have to look on themselves as a really bad person. And if they're a really bad person and you love them, then you must be a really bad person as well. So unless all the subconscious motivation is resolved when somebody leaves a religious belief system, it's going to haunt them. It's going to cause trouble and conflict in all their relationships, even after maybe they enter the New Age movement and they're all positivity, love, and light. And there's also an element of society, regardless of religious belief systems, that feels like they have to prove something. For example, Andrew Yang was running for presidential candidate. His platform included universal basic income, and it really made sense with technology taking over jobs. We would eventually not need money. Jobs, all labor would be taken care of. So universal basic income, what it would do now is guarantee that people could leave abusive circumstances, whether it be a bad employer, bad relationships, personal relationships, and they would know that their needs were always going to be met. And I mentioned that to a young man that I met randomly, and he said, oh no, that universal basic income, that would be bad. I wouldn't want to see that. I have something to prove. I can do this. And so, although government officials, social organizations can come up with solutions to poverty, not everybody wants them. And yes, there are going to be people that need to oppress and control other people. But in all those people who feel a need to oppress and control, it's perceived as a need for them. And wherever there's dependency, if you're in control of everything, people are dependent on you and they're a burden. In any relationship where there's dependency, there's going to be resentment. It's not always going to be done in the right way. It's not always going to be done having all the needs met. They're always going to be yelled at for lacking something. So being somebody in control, they feel like a victim of their position, a victim of these people who are dependent on them. And you see that in parent and child relationships. You see that in romantic relationships, if one partner's more dependent on the other. And so as long as there's dependency, there's resentment. And at the same time, there's something in so many people that need to have a parental or control figure to prove themselves for, to sit there and give them a reward, a pat on the head. Yes, you are worthy. Yes, you deserve this. Yes, you've done a fine job. And the hero complex, the superhero movies, all the children's shows, there is very few media out there where there isn't a bad guy to fight against. There's the bully at school, there's the mean teacher, there's the dysfunctional parents, there's, an evil overlord. There's always somebody being a hero, and everybody wants to be that hero. They don't want to be the villain, they don't want to be the bad guy. Although some people do. They look at that and they say, I want to be that, because in their life they identify from a weaker position and they would like to imitate the person with power, control, and influence, even if that person is considered a bad guy by other people. And so we're conditioned from a very young age to have this conflict, this need for an other to be the bad guy. And people will start perceiving a bad guy even in somebody who is not. So if we're imagining a peaceful, quiet future for ourselves, that's going to be largely impossible with a greater community. And I'm not even sure you can create a peaceful community that will endure, because in some way the communities around them will imagine a way in which that peaceful community is depriving them on the outside somehow. It's just phenomenal the way people perceive things and the way that they create things and the way that they're conditioned to create things. So their personal circumstances start to resonate with the media that they're fed, and then all of that they begin creating in the greater world, and they just keep on going, keep on creating this. And right now for me, that's very disheartening, that no matter where you go and what you do in the world, there are going to be people that are going to have an in-driven need, even subconsciously, to destroy whatever it is you create. I remember when I was younger, I knew I had a choice from the circumstances that I came from. Be poor and live off of government benefits so that I wouldn't have to put so much effort into my existence. And the other choice was become so exceedingly wealthy that it wouldn't matter if I had to pay taxes. I could pay other people to do things, and in that way I wouldn't have to put much effort into maintaining my physical existence. And coming from where I was, I didn't see a way in which I could get extremely healthy. And when I looked for places to live, I would want to look for places that were run down, that were undesirable to other people. Because if nobody wanted what I had, then they wouldn't try to take from me. They wouldn't hurt me to try and take from me. And that isn't how it works, because no matter how undesirable your circumstances and your belongings, there is somebody that is going to want them, or somebody who cannot see you, they can't stand seeing you being content with so little. It bothers them. It attacks their conscience because they can't be as happy with as little, or it bothers their subconscious, which believes that they shouldn't be living as they live, like they should be content with just as little. So it's just fascinating and amazing how we've created a social reality that encompasses the entire world, that no matter how accepting you are of other people, how accepting you are of yourself and your circumstances, how positive thinking you can be, how you can take something that others would consider trash and make it useful and beautiful, and that will be destroyed. It can't be allowed to exist. And it's just absolutely incredible how we've created a world where no matter what you build with your little Legos, somebody's going to come in and they're going to knock them down. And then we're blamed for it. You're drawing it to you, law of attraction, what's your focus? And then we have to analyze our subconscious. And even if we get all of that right, even if we tear ourselves to shreds, we're still not guaranteed to have a wonderful, happy, peaceful, graceful life at ease within ourselves and within our surroundings. It's absolutely incredible. So unless a whole bunch of people are all waking up, all realizing these things, it's just going to continue. And I don't even want to go into mainstream news with AI and how AI could actually access all human knowledge and then become in control through all the computer systems of all the technology and become as if God. Maybe there's your biblical prophecy, the Antichrist, the AI comes in and takes over all of humanity. They're already influencing people on social mediums, the marketing. It's just as, and then drones. We've got a black ops government agency, preparing people for the great revelation that they have alien technology. It's not really the aliens. Then we have other people that are channeling aliens, that say the aliens are with us now. And it's just becoming a total global encompassing of paranoia and fear and trauma. I don't even know what to do with that. Just don't even know what to do with it. All I can say is I see it, And if there are other people out there who can see it too and accept it, this is what is. It does no good to deny it, refuse it, try to force it all to change, because change isn't necessarily wanted. We think everybody wants to be happier and healthier. They'll say yes, they do, but inherently all their belief systems, all their desires, the roles that they feel they have to play, say no. No, they really don't want to be happy and healthy. They they just don't. So if there are others who truly do, I need to hear from you. I need to hear from you. You need to be a part of my experience because there's just no reason to live in this world, is how I feel. What's the point of getting all the tools to create something easy and beautiful and not be able to use them?